My name is Christina Young, and I'm here to tell you about epilepsy today. Kids and adults are diagnosed with epilepsy every single day. The numbers are enormous now, and people don't even know the signs, the symptoms, or even, sometimes how to treat it. And I'm here today to tell you exactly how to do that. First of all, is how it is all caused. Basically, it starts in the brain. Everything comes from the brain. It sends abnormal signals, and the brain can't process it, so it kind of goes a little crazy and it just gets all excited. And the permanent changes to the brain cause it to get excitable, which causes the epilepsy to occur, or in a word, seizure. Now, if you don't understand what seizure means, it's basically when you drop dead, like you almost drop dead weight, and you're just constantly moving, shaking, and you're jerking your arms and limbs, and sometimes it feels like you can't breathe. You lose your train of thought, and you just don't know what happened after, and you feel so tired that it's like you just almost ran a complete marathon. So this all comes back to the brain. This is why people who are diagnosed have to have EEGs or MRIs to see where the brain functioning comes from. Also, another way it is caused is by hereditary. It may run in the family, it may not. So that specific gene may run into your blood, not your blood, your DNA system. So that is also how you could be the not so fortunate one to be caused with epilepsy. Another way is also by brain damage caused by disorders like brain tumors and head traumas. You may have a very bad head injury, and you don't think of any of it, and it may not show up for years later, and you will have seizures. Another thing is prenatal. I want your mother carrying you may be doing drugs, smokes, not eating properly, and all those kinds of, and including alcohol, can lead up to the baby inside of her having seizures, but may not show until later on in life, which is what you really got to look out for. They may not have it beginning, but if you get the regular testing done, you will be able to see it through the MRIs and the EEGs. You'll be able to see the brain, how the neurons are working and how your brain's functioning just by doing that. Secondly, a good important, not only knowing the causes, is knowing the signs of it and the symptoms of it. If you're able to detect that and see if, oh, they're having a seizure, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to take care of it. One way is the generalized. It acts all over the brain, and you basically, it's like a cry out. They're making sounds and they just stiffen. This is the one where they don't do the shaking. This one's the hardest one to pick out. It's the generalized one. So they may just like freeze, and they'll kind of cry and they won't shake like what you're used to seeing, like especially in movies. The second one is the partial or focal seizures. This interacts with certain parts of the brain, and certain body parts will begin to jerk and shaking like you're normally seeing. And then sometimes you'll be feeling full in the stomach, and you'll just kind of start picking at the clothes, like almost like you're hot or you want them off of you, and you'll wake up dazed and completely confused on what happened. You'll be like, oh my god, what just happened the last 5 minutes? The third and last one is what we call grand mal seizures. These are where you kind of blankly stare and you just blank off into space. You have no interaction. You do not know what's going on, and you completely just, it's like you went blank, and you're not making eye contact. You're completely just blank. There are many types of epilepsy in this world today. There is idiopathic, which is by childhood absence epilepsy. It's juvenile, myoclonic, grand mal seizures, and then it's identified by the EEGs or MRIs. And it's basically kids with these have normal intelligence, but their brains can't function as properly. Also, another type is the partial idiopathic, and this affects children from 5 to 8 years old, and you generally get this one through family history, which, like I said before, it's caused through the genes, and you'll get that one specific gene, and that's how it all starts. Now, there's the treatment factor. Treatment is very, very, very important. Basically, all right now is that we know of is to give the people who are diagnosed drugs. Now, there are many types of drugs, and these basically just help preventing them from happening. And taking these for a long period of time can eventually lead to you getting off of the medicine and being seizure-free. Some normal ones are Depakote, Zaritin, and Depakine. There's plenty others, but those are just a few that doctors prescribe for the children or even adults, just for them to stabilize it, and they take regularly on a day basis. Lastly, I'm going to talk about my own very personal story with epilepsy. My little sister, she was 7 years old. It was just one normal night. We were goofing around, playing around, and then all of a sudden, she just drops. She starts shaking, and we don't know what's going on, and we've never seen this, and she's never acted like this before. Her body just it's 20 pounds heavier, 10 times heavier. So we couldn't even pick her up. She wasn't focusing. She was foaming at the mouth, and we did not know what to do. So first thing we did was call the ambulance, and they rushed her off to the hospital. And after all night and basically all day running tests and everything, they finally came to us and said, your daughter is diagnosed with epilepsy. Don't remember the stage of epilepsy she has. Basically, it started out, after that, she started having grand mal seizures where it's just blank. And she was taking the prescribed pills, which was Depakote, and it kind of helped, but when she didn't take it, she would have grand mal seizures, and grand mal seizures would come and go, and she could be talking to you, and all of a sudden she'd look up in blank space. Ever since it's happened, she's not been the same. Our family has not been the same. She's been our main priority. She hasn't really even gotten to become a teenager, because we've always wanted to keep a close eye on her. We have to watch out, for flashing lights that can trigger it. If she gets too hot, things like that. We always have to keep an eye on her. And ever since this happened, this has really taken a toll on our family, and we realize, anything can happen. We just got to look out for each other. And honestly, if anything ever happened to my sister, I would not know what to do. She's been our focus and our primary attention to, and it really has taken a toll on her and affected her so much. She doesn't feel normal. She doesn't feel like a normal teenager, and it just breaks our heart. But I hope after y'all watching this, y'all understand just a little bit more, and if you actually read into it and go further into depth with epileptic and go look at some stories of children, you will begin to understand how it is for them and how it is for the family and how it all began. It's not a pretty sight, and people don't think it's that serious. Oh, they just shake, and no, you can die from the spot. Your brain will stop working, your heart will stop working. You could be in a pool and completely have one and drown to the bottom because your weight multiplies and you will not come back up. It's serious, and I hope after watching this you understand and get better knowledge of it all. Thank you.